news! I found a nickel!
I found a nickel! One of the greatest Fairly Oddparent jokes I think we ever did. This is where it originated from this episode. Hey everybody, Butch Hartman here. Welcome to Fairly Odd Flashback. This is the series where I flash back on some classic Fairly Oddparents episodes that I made over 20 years ago, and I haven't seen many of them in quite some time. This is because you'll make episodes in a studio, you work on them for months and months and months, and then you finish them and out the door they go. And I don't really sit and watch my own shows that often. I've already seen them a lot of times. I do love to watch them when I do run across them. It's not too often I'll sit and just watch, but it's great to watch them again over 20 years later, looking at the way technology has changed, how my process and directing has changed, my storytelling process, things I would have done differently. This will give you some inside stories on how we made these episodes, and I hope you find it entertaining. All right, so today we're going to watch Season 1, Episode 2, and there's 2 episodes in every Fairly Oddparents half hour. Each is 11 minutes long. Season 1, Episode 2, the episode Spaced Out. Spaced Out's a great episode that introduces the alien character of Mark Chang. Mark Chang is that alien who talks like this, you know, what's up? And great backstory with that character, how he came to be, and I'll get into it here in a second. So that's a title card I drew, Spaced Out. There you go. I hope you like that artwork. Written by Mike Bell, Butch Hartman, and Steve Marmel. Steve Marmel and Mike Bell. Mike was a writer very temporarily on the show at the very beginning. Mike's a great guy, very funny guy, and did some short cartoons in the Oh Yeah Cartoon Show, where I created Fairly Oddparents. And Steve Marmel was a writer and producer on Fairly Oddparents and Danny Phantom for a very long time. Steve is a very talented writer. And Barry Bunce and I did the storyboard. Barry is an old friend of mine who has since passed away, but Barry was a very dear friend of mine who was a great storyboard artist in his own right. And of course, art direction by the amazing Bob Boyle. So moving on. I love this music too. Guy Moon did a great job. And I directed this episode. We'll do a deep dive someday into what an animation director actually does as well as we move on.
Puny humans, we shall now suck out your brains.
Now, I did this voice of this character. Puny humans, we shall now suck out your brains with bendy straws. Now, this is 25 years later. I think I sped my voice up a little bit. This whole opening sequence introduces an interesting character in the Fairly Oddparents universe.
You can suck out our minds, livers, and spleens, but we will never surrender!
That's Carlos Alzraki.
Silence, Captain Laserpants! No one can save you now!
Silence, Captain Laserpants! No one can save you now!
Crash Nebula!
Hooray! Intergalactic scum, your reign of terror ends now!
So I love this drawing of Crash Nebula. We really based him on Flash Gordon, very 1950s, 1930s retro sort of space hero, right? With a gigantic, that would never work in real life, laser gun on his wrist. And a guy named Andy Siriano, great artist, did all of this artwork. He designed all these characters in this section, did a great job. And this is where we introduced Crash Nebula for the very first time in the show. We later tried to make a Crash Nebula series based out of this character, and we'll talk about that some other time. So that's Darren Norris doing Crash Nebula's voice here. We got Timmy, Chester, and AJ sitting here watching Crash Nebula. And the reason we designed all the Crash Nebula stuff differently was we wanted to separate it from the Fairly Oddparents typical normal universe.
Pretty cool, huh, Chester?
Yeah, don't you think, AJ?
Positively.
So we got Chester and AJ. We had them in a lot of episodes at the beginning of the Fairly Oddparents because, you know, Timmy needed some good friends that were his age. So again, the great Frankie Muniz at the time doing the voice of Chester, Malcolm in the Middle, and Ibrahim Hanif Muhammad doing the voice of AJ.
Will Crash Nebula escape the evil clutches of the Clutch-Ulax?
That's Darren Norris doing the narrator there.
Tune in next week for another exciting episode of Crash Nebula!
I love this Crash Nebula title card. We used that on a bunch of stuff as the years went by. But I still think Crash Nebula would make a great, great cartoon series. What do you guys think? Let me know. We did do a pilot of it. Did you ever see the pilot?
That was the best episode ever, Right, guys?
The great Tara Strong doing Timmy Turner's voice.
Guys? 2 against 1, huh? Mothership! Come in, Mothership!
Now we cut to the mothership, which is actually shaped like a mother, because Cosmo and Wanda are up in the mothership. I forgot about this part. What do you guys think of the mothership design? Do you like that?
Timmy calling Cosmo and Wanda. Do you read?
Aye, aye, Captain Timmy, sir.
He said mothership.
And the music here is really cool. It's got that kind of a theremin sound. That's a very 1950s-esque sort of soundtracky sort of thing. So Guy Moon did a great job doing that music. Overdid a little bit. Very cool.
Cool! Killer crash suit, dude.
I love the design of that gun. Yeah, and he's got his own little Crash Nebula suit.
Yes. Wherever did you get it? Internet. Cool.
Internet. That's one of the first internet jokes I think we ever did on the Fairly Oddparents. The internet was starting to take over the world. We did this episode in 2001. And actually, we did it in 2000. It aired in 2001. And yeah, I think that was one of our first internet jokes.
Now all we need is an alien, and we can reenact episode 621 of Crash Nebula.
I wish we had an alien monster to play with.
So this episode was sort of based on the movie Galaxy Quest that came out with Tim Allen back in the late 90s, where these visitors from space come down thinking that Tim Allen and his actor friends are real space warriors, but they were actually just cast members in a science fiction TV show. So getting a mistaken identity thing going on from an alien mistaking a human for being a space hero, that's kind of where this idea came from. And so we've got Timmy wanting an alien now. So he thinks Cosmo and Wanda is going to make him an alien, but they actually go and find a real alien.
What?
Oh, at the alien planet. Now, this is the first time we see Mark Chang's planet.
Queen Jipjorulak, you seem troubled.
Queen Jipjorulak. Now, that name came from our writer, Mike Bell. He presented those names to me. What if her name was Queen Jipjorulak, and then the king is named King Gripalon, and I couldn't think of anything better, so I went, okay, those are funny, and we moved on. These voices are done by Rob Paulson, who is the king, and Lorraine Newman, who was one of the very first cast members on Saturday Night Live. She did the voice of the Queen. Every time we did these characters, they were the voices. Great actors, super funny.
Readings show that your son has been taken to Earth.
That's me as the computer. Readings show your son has been taken to Earth.
Oh, not Earth. Assemble the Star Destroyers.
All right, so now Timmy's got a problem. He's got a real alien, and now aliens are coming to get the son. So you see the tension building, and we're only 3 minutes into the episode.
Amazing! A fully automated animatronic space alien!
Puny humans! What's up?
Okay, this character, the reason we did Mark Chang the way we did him, it was completely based on Rob Paulson and his voice, because we had written Mark as an alien. You're like, oh, Mark's an alien. Puny humans! I will now suck out your brains with bendy straws! That's what we did. We had that line written down. And we auditioned like maybe 30 guys who came in to do the alien voice. And everybody was doing a voice like this. I'm an alien. Oh, I'm from a different planet. And they were doing pretty much, a typical alien voice, what we would probably do. But here's where you really learn about voice acting and why certain voice actors get chosen. Rob came in. I'll never forget, Rob was the first audition out of 30 guys. Rob came in and went, ha, puny humans, what's up? And did like the surfer dude. And it just made us all laugh because we weren't expecting it. We had no idea what voice we wanted, but we knew that we didn't want a typical alien voice. And Rob came in and just nailed it.
You Earth children are not afraid of me?
You Earth children are not afraid of me? It's like, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Oh my God, Ted, Bill. That is now when you have an actor that can do a voice like that, you can really write to that character, which is why we kept bringing Mark back, because Rob did such a great voice.
Keep it quiet up here!
The great Delisle, screaming like Vicky.
She's terrified the children in a way I could not.
She's terrified the children in a way I could not. Just that read right there. Hilarious.
You can play with your geek buddy after you clean up this room!
Oh, she's so forceful!
This is where Mark falls in love with Vicky, and we kept that running through the rest of the series. So every time Mark would show up, he'd want to find Vicky, and Vicky just doesn't like him, of course.
You wouldn't have to blow up all these planets if you just stopped for directions.
Quiet! I'm still the king around here.
We have good news and bad news.
What's the good news?
The alien we got you is actually a prince from the dreaded war planet Yugopotamia.
And his parents are on their way to destroy the Earth
And here's one of our classic jokes coming up right here.
What's the bad news?
Oh, wait. That was the bad news.
Then what's the good news?
I found a nickel.
I remember that was me and Steve coming up with that. And we laughed at it so much in the room, and we kept using it like all day. We would just say it all day, like to each other as we passed each other in the hallway. And then we had I think we had a Nickelodeon party that night, and we said it there and people were laughing. We had Darren saying it at the party. That joke is so great that we actually have a Philip the Nickel merch right here. We have a pillow. It's a Philip the Nickel pillow. And it originated from this episode all those years ago. So I'm going to hold the pillow while we watch the rest.
Okay, then. I wish the alien was back home.
Our alien prince has fallen in love with Vicky. And the rules say we can't interfere with true love.
So now we got a rule. Mark fell in love with Vicky, and we can't interfere with true love. That's what our little workaround was in this episode. You always got to come up with a kryptonite for every wish. And that was it.
The fear you
Vicky, the fear
instilled in the young ones was enchanting.
was enchanting. Rob's so great at that character.
You talk funny. Are you from Europe or something?
You talk funny. Are you from Europe or something?
I'm a warrior prince from Yugopotamia. My name is Mark.
I'm a warrior prince from Yugopotamia. My name is Mark. So funny, I think. What do you think, Philip? Philip likes it too. There we go. There's Philip.
Look, if you want to please me so much, why don't you make me a chocolate shake?
Chocolate!
So chocolate is the foulest substance known on their planet. And so we established that Yugopotamians hate everything we love and love everything we hate. I caught an animation mistake here. Let me go back.
I do not.
If you look at the blender on the shelf, the blender is off register. It should be behind the shelf line, and it's actually sitting over the shelf line. And I have noticed that in 24 years, so I should have caught that. But there's so many things to catch as you're making an animated cartoon.
Wish to be saved from Vicky.
Vicky's the foulest, most evil creature in the universe.
I know. Isn't she awesome?
Cool. This is just like what happened in today's Crash Nebula episode.
And then we call back to the Crash Nebula episode. They're stuck to the wall.
How can anyone fall in love with her?
Like we see their little wands, their little video screens. Pretty cool.
Seems like we have
The entire house turns into a giant telescope, and the mothership is in danger.
less time than we thought.
They just blew up the mothership.
I better go talk to the alien's parents. Maybe they can talk some sense into their son.
We can't destroy true love.
But parents can.
We can't destroy true love, but parents can. I would, of course, never write a joke like that now.
Oh, who goes there?
And that's Carlos Alazraqui as the alien guard, and now we're in the alien ship.
And you must face the Perils 3. Now,
Perils
you
3?
human, you must skip across the dreaded field of flowers.
The flowers touch his skin, but he neither bleeds nor burns.
Ta-da!
Everyone's amazed. Timmy is dealing with all of these terrible things like flowers.
Hug the galaxy's cutest and softest teddy bear!
I love you!
I don't understand. He didn't burst into flame.
All their heads explode. You know, it's interesting the way we designed this character. We designed Mark and his family and these aliens. They definitely are based on the Simpsons aliens, the one-eyed, tentacled aliens. Definitely based on those characters. Inspired, you would say. But we definitely had a good time doing these guys.
For your last task, you must eat the chocolate bar!
Sure. I mean, not chocolate, anything but that. Please don't make me eat it! Hey, there's peanuts in it.
Everyone's terrified. Hey, there's peanuts in it.
Please don't hurt us. We
just want our son back.
So now they think Timmy's the most powerful creature in the world because he passed all the tests. Now they're terrified of him. Now they're begging for their son back. Now I can take him by force. So see, a lot of writing goes into these episodes, a lot of story.
I, Timmy, candy crunching warrior of Earth, have good news and bad news.
The good news is I've named my nickel Philip.
The good news is I've named my nickel Philip. Well, what's the bad
news?
It's a girl nickel.
It's a girl nickel. Again, that's where this joke originated. So Philip the Nickel is a girl nickel, and it originated from this episode. Thank you, Philip. I'm so glad you're here with me.
Is Philip named after anyone?
Is Philip named after anyone? We didn't name Philip after anyone. We just said Philip was the name we came up with right away in the room and made us laugh. So sometimes the first jokes, the first ones that come out of your gut are the funniest ones. So we thought that was pretty good.
We will talk to Mark. We'll set things straight. Just don't eat the chocolate again!
I asked Lorraine Newman when we were recording that, I'm like, could you just add a terrifying blood-curdling scream at the end? And she absolutely did. Again, she was one of the original Saturday Night Live cast members back in the 70s. Such a great actress.
Okay, dudes, things aren't going well with Vicky, so I've decided to suck out your brains and give them to her as gifts.
Okay, dudes, things aren't going so well with Vicky, so I decided to suck out your brains and give them to her as gifts. That's just a great throwaway line.
You can suck out our minds, livers, and spleens, but we will never surrender.
Let's call back to the Crash Nebula line. And then Timmy breaks in as Crash Nebula.
Nebula! Intergalactic scum, your reign of terror ends now!
Just like the first scene.
Oh, what now?
Hello.
They're dressed as humans, like they're gonna. Hello,
Mother, Father, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? And I moved him in different poses. Just what are you doing here?
It does not matter how hideous you are on the outside, but how evil and vicious you are on the inside.
He's smashing her on the ground. How evil and vicious you are on the inside.
No, son.
Timmy eats a flower just to remind them that, hey, I will eat this flower. I will destroy you.
It would never work. She's not where we're from.
I'll never forget you, Mark. Foreign exchange student from Europe.
Never forget you, Mark. Foreign exchange student from Europe.
Hey, I found a nickel.
I found a nickel. Philip! So funny.
Will Cosmo and Philip the Nickel.
Now we cut to alien children watching the Fairly Oddparents. We see the little alien kids watching with little crowns on. And I created in Hollywood, USA on the end title card. I wanted to keep doing this for the end title cards because I'd seen cartoons like that when I was a kid. Thought it was kind of cool, but we didn't didn't do it very long. But anyway, did you guys like that episode? I've not watched that episode all the way through in probably 20 something years. It's so great to see it. I've seen clips of it, of course. Had a great time making it. Learned a lot about just how to ink the characters with the black line around them, keeping the lines thick, the self-colored lines, like lines that aren't black, but lines that are the same color as the character, keeping the lines thick, yet movable, giving Fairly Oddparents its own style and look. I was sort of establishing my own style here as we were going through making this show, my writing style, my drawing style, and just storytelling style. Rob Paulson as Mark, fantastic. Really brought that character to life, and we could write a million episodes with him. We ended up bringing Mark back a whole bunch. And, of course, the Philip the Nickel joke developed for this episode. I thought that was fantastic. So did you guys like that episode? Do you want to hear more Fairly Odd Flashbacks? Which episodes do you want me to flash back on? We're going to do a lot of them, so keep an eye out for that. We're going to be doing Danny Phantom and Tough Puppy as well, all our Fairly Oddparents movies. We have a ton to get to, so thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We'd appreciate that. And as always, art gives you power. Use it wisely.